All right. Hi. First off, I sprained my ankle running at lunch, and I just put the ice on it, so it's really, really cold. So I might be like squirming a little bit. Actually, I am gonna. Oh my gosh, that's bloody cold if you put ice on straight on it. Okay. Hey, note to self: gonna put a light covering over it. Probably not the best idea to start the video and do the cold, but whatever. All right. For today, I wanted to go out of the space of the philosophical metaphysics and all that good stuff and talk about tribes. Because I was talking to a friend today about this and about inner city kids who are in impoverished areas and about how a large part of why they're in those situations and to begin with is because they were taught and accepted by members of, let's just say, a different kind of gangs. Let's say inner cities and different gangs, and accepted by these gangs and given different, let's say, amenities for them, and in a sense, they become kind of father figure like these gangs and these people. Also, in that sense, they are forming a tribe because every one of us needs a tribe. Or doesn't, I don't even think need, but wants. A lot of us want tribes to be part of, social tribes to be part of. And that's where a lot of our behavior strives from, is our need for acceptance for our social status or social tribes. So a good example is high school, right? High schooler are starting to begin and to form friend groups and wanting social acceptance from friends. And then it's our realization as we get older that really we could just be okay being by ourselves. Or we never realized that. At least for me, I had the realization of just being okay being by myself and also loving it, being a kid again, and just being and like can do whatever. It's so fun being by yourself because you literally can do whatever you want, and then realizing that whatever you kind of want to do, like you can actually do it in public, even though people might look at you weird. It doesn't matter because it's that perceived world looking at you, thinking and whatever they want to think. But in your world, in your perspective, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's art. It's I wouldn't go as far as art, but it can be as beautiful as ugly as you want it to be, and that's the cool part. But going back to the tribes, so I feel like a lot of human beings need that tribe and family aspects to live. And within these gangs, my friend was telling me that at a lot of times they would get these kids really young and give them prostitutes, alcohol, drugs, give them all this hedonistic pleasures. And by them giving all this and those children accepting it and also associating seeing the pleasure and reward from pleasure with these gang members, these almost father figures, in a sense, they get hooked on it. So they get hooked on, yes, the drugs, the alcohol, the girls, but also the family aspects, because as that gang member father figure is saying, hey, I'm taking care of you. I got you. So in their minds, they're like, man, this is my family. This is who I'm connected with, in a sense. So when people look from the outside and look how horrible all the gangs are and how close you are to dying in certain instances and all the deaths and murders, we can't fathom it. And can't fathom it. But whenever you go into their world, you understand it a little bit better because one, they're in a dangerous environment, and all they and two, well, they're in a dangerous environment, and who do they fall back on in that dangerous environment? Well, their family. They fall back on the gang members and who they perceive as family, and who have raised them. Well, they have raised them, but maybe not to the standards of a morally right citizen. And they've raised them. They gave them all these hedonistic pleasures. So there's this loyalty they have to these gang members. So kids growing up into it, and when they get to 17, 18, it's like, well, I gotta stay for the family. I gotta stay for these people who took care of me. I got this is home for me. Hey, I'm not gonna back out. I'm not gonna go away. Why should I go away? Hey, it's like I have all these things, and it's their narrow sense of their world, their narrow perceived world and perceived perspective that doesn't allow them, convinces them that they need to stay in this world, or there's a point to staying in this world. Where there's some children, I don't know the reason behind it, but some people who grow up in those environments and see that there's other opportunities others are than this. It's just that there's connections that are keeping you there, or the imagined and social pressures that you're putting onto yourself to stick there, or your feeling of needing to please someone else or be loyal to someone else because of what they have done with you in the past. But what these other people, other kids who actually get out of the ghetto environments or out of the gangs need to realize is that it's the present moment. What can I do for myself to benefit myself and the people around me? Well, the best way to do that is to get out. And how do I get out? Well, I don't know. That's where there's another common and pattern I see. So first, you have to be willing to give up your social obligations to the neighborhood, the gang, the people around you, to be able to better yourself. But also, what I've seen, or so far, and it might be wrong, but I've seen a pattern of the people who've gotten out found a different outlet of social connection, whether that be from a teacher, whether that be from a coach, whether that be from like a military recruiter, whether that be someone entirely different. Just one person to show them that you can still be loved outside of your traditional tribe of being in a gang or being in the inner city in these neighborhoods. So you can still be loved, and you can love yourself outside of this and give yourself opportunities that will better yourself and the people around you. So I want to say it's those two it goes back to the free will and the determinism, right? So you have free will of everything in your life, so you have to make the choice to get out of there in the first place. And you're being affected by everything in life. So when everything in life is dogging on you, and there is no other outlet for you to see, then and you yourself are maybe not limited, but it's much more of a restraint or harder to free yourself from these harsh environments, and that's kind of going back to our last video, right, of our perceived worlds and our perceived having that equilibrium of free will and determinism based on our perceived world and other people's perceived worlds as well. Also, yeah, I think the main message is just knowing that your tribe does exert or deterministic pressures on you, but you also have the free will to get out of these situations if you know what to do as well. Maybe not know what to do, but that you have the free will to make the choice to get out of those situations or find ways to get out of those situations. Like I know a lot. Well, another thing, and to add to the mentors too, is books. But most people don't think of books, but books are access to some of the most intelligent people's minds, and it's like open up their mind and understanding what they think. It's like a one-way conversation to you. Actually, it's a two-way conversation because one, the books are giving you information, and two, you're perceiving that information based on your own life as well. So it is really a conversation, or not a direct conversation, but an interpretation of the material. So books are great mentors as well in those situations. So there's many ways that you can find those social connections or those relieve yourself of the social pressures around you and making you feel like you need to act, need to stay there for other people where you really don't need to, because you have their life is a mystery and you don't know who you're going to meet and who you're going to find and what connections you're going to get to. And it's the fear of living outside of your comfort zone, in this case living in these tribes in the inner city, living this life that is dangerous but that they're comfortable with. Honestly, it's a weird thing to think about, that they be comfortable with this lifestyle, but it's what they know, what's they're accustomed to. It's their everyday lives. Like once you live a life every single day for our excess amount of years, it becomes accustomed to you, and you become cemented into your own ways and comfortable with where you're at as well. Also, fighting the fear of being uncomfortable, and fighting the devil you don't know, instead of the devil you do know. Bang! I'm sorry if that was really loud. I've been talking a lot lately, but I feel like these are important topics too, and I do want to focus. I do want to do two different type of books. One book's on like the pillars of life, like Kaizen, love, and values, which can be directly applicable to a person's life. And then I'll also want to get more more into philosophy side, talking about like the selves and perceived worlds, and then try to do that book, explain it in a way that the common layman or common person can understand, because that's how you can fully understand a topic based on like the Feynman technique and teaching to a 6-year-old. And if you're unable to teach it to a 60-year-old, then there is some flaws in your teaching methods as well. But I could ramble all day. I think I got the main parts I want to talk about with tribe and social pressures and your social family as well. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them in the description, the comments below. You can also contact me at my email if you have any personal questions. Other than that, I will see y'all tomorrow.